So I rewatched the first Fantastic Beasts just because, for the life of me, I couldn't remember a single thing from that movie because I was so underwhelmed by it the first time I saw it in theaters. And it turns out there were a lot of things that I completely forgot about that film. I did appreciate it more the second time, but I went into this next film with lowered expectations. So here's my review of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them: The Crimes of Grindelwald. So overall, I like this film more than I thought I would, and I think it's because of those lowered expectations. But at the same time, the fact that this film is more action-packed than the last one, which gives the film a more sense of urgency and real live stakes. Then there are the creatures in this film, which I loved from the first one. I felt in this one the focus wasn't so much on them, and I'll go more into depth on that on the negative section. I wish they would have spent more time with the creatures themselves, but the creatures themselves were done exquisitely. Then we have obviously the main characters, which I thought were the standouts of the first film. I loved their chemistry, and I personally think that Eddie Redmayne is a great Newt Scamander. And lastly, something that we didn't see too much from the first one was the use of spells that we've seen before from previous Harry Potter films. They did the Polyjuice Potion twice in this film, which was really nice. And then we had the Alohomora, the Accio, and then we also had a Portkey, which I, for a second, had to recall what that was. So most of the negative things I would point out towards the story direction. There is a Lita Lestrange character, and we actually get introduced to her in the end of the first film, where Newt says that they no longer see eye to eye, and this started to make me speculate as to why that is. Maybe she took a more evil turn, and that's why they don't see eye to eye. But I was really underwhelmed by the fact that that wasn't the case. She actually has a desk job, which is something that we see in the film Newt is not too fond of. And then it turns out that she's also engaged to his brother. So that is that. So much for my imagination taking me one way and the writing telling me no, it's actually this is a situation we have here. And it was really underwhelming in that sense. Then we also have the fact that they made Nagini a female character, or a person actually, not just the fact that she's a female. And I haven't read any concrete source saying that this is the same snake that Voldemort has in the original Harry Potter series, but it's safe to say that it probably is. And I'm not sure why they made that decision. I think it's pointless. And I'm wondering how that's going to connect to the future series, or how that's going to make me look at the Nagini character differently when I revisit the Harry Potter films at some point in the future. Then we have the exposition scene where they say that Ezra Miller's character is Corvus Lestrange, by a gentleman who's been kind of investigating his persona. And then we get an exposition to that exposition, debunking it a few seconds later by Lita Lestrange. And this scene just seems so pointless to me. The double exposition, I guess I should say, because why? Why would you ever do that? If you were to, kind of make that a twist, there should be more time in between, for us to, make believe that this person is who they say that he is, and then be like, okay, he's totally not. I fell for it. But no, we don't get that time to kind of let that sink in. And lastly, we get the reveal that Ezra Miller's character, Credence, is in fact a Dumbledore. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, guys. I read the original Harry Potter books, and I was under the impression that Albus only had two siblings, not three. They're saying he's a long-lost brother. And at first I thought this might have just been a twist by Grindelwald himself, but there is the fact that there's a phoenix involved in the end scene, so I'm not sure where they're going with this, but I guess we shall see. While I did enjoy this film, I still had so many problems with it and with the franchise as a whole. This whole franchise is supposed to be called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, but in this film in particular, the focus wasn't on the beasts, it was on Grindelwald, so I'm not sure why they went with that title in the first place. I guess just for name recognition. The fact that we brought Credence back, I don't understand why we need this character. I thought it was one and done in the first film, and I thought that was used perfectly, and that we would move on, but they're just constantly using things that we have seen before. They brought most of the cast back from the first film, which, while I did like them in the first film, I was kind of hoping that we would see Newt interact with different people and have a different team. Maybe bring back Jacob as an entry point for the audience, but change it up a bit, have different characters, different interactions, and different discussions, amongst those characters. And then also the fact that we seem to be shrinking the universe, which is something that this franchise has in common with the Star Wars franchise, which is this whole world is bigger than it is right now. I'm not sure why we had to make Credence a Dumbledore. He could have been another magical family that was very prominent in that time period. There's so many questions, but I guess we will see it through if there is another film. I know that Warner Brothers and J.K. Rowling want this franchise to be fruitful and successful, but based off the box office predictions, it seemingly looks like this film is going to make less money than the first one, at least opening weekend. And they both came around the same time, and that is not a good sign, especially if they want to continue making films. But for some reason, this franchise just isn't working out. I will give this review, or this film, I should say, a 2C. If you guys are Harry Potter fans, like myself, then definitely check it out. But please go with lower expectations. And if you loved the first Fantastic Beasts, then I'm pretty sure you'll like this one. So that is my recommendation of this film. Until next time, guys, peace out, and I'll see you later.